Root and Ballance ensure it's honours even between Notts and Yorkshire. Joe Clark moved to within a second century of his debut match as Nottinghamshire pushed towards a declaration on day 3 against Yorkshire. Samit Patel was the star with the ball as he claimed 3 wickets in as many overs to help Notts to a first innings lead of 117. Clark then built on the good work of Duckett, Nash and Mullaney, who also scored 50s. It came as a shock, however, when news came through before play that Notts had declared overnight, leaving Clark stranded just 3 short of what would have been the impressive feat of twin centuries in his debut match for his new county. The Yorkshire openers made a solid start to their attempt to save the game before Brooke got squared up by an excellent ball from Ball and got a leading edge, while Nash took a brilliant low-diving catch. Broad and Ball had Lythe in all kinds of trouble as they went around the wicket, and eventually he left one from Ball that held its line to bowl him and send the stumps flying. Broad greeted his friend and England captain with a brutal bouncer first ball which caught Root flush on the helmet. Ballance eventually got off the mark after half an hour by pulling Ball to the boundary, and when the Notts change bowlers came on, Ballance started to cash in with a succession of boundaries. Root and Ballance able to steady the ship through to lunch with a solid partnership of 48 to take Yorkshire to 72 for 2. A good effort after losing both of those openers early. Root was beginning to look in ominous form, driving Ball to the fence and punching Patel for 4. He then thumped a Cochran short ball to the boundary to bring up his 50 and pulled 3 more balls that over in the same fashion to bring up the 100 partnership. Broad was belatedly brought back into the attack with the game looking to be heading for a draw, and Ballance reached his 50 with a clip off his legs from Cochran, a patient innings off 167 balls, just what his side needed. Tea arrived with the partnership worth 157 and the game seemingly petering out, but Root would look to push on from 86 not out to his century in the final session. Ballance decided he would need to accelerate if he wanted to reach a century of his own and clattered Ball for successive boundaries. A drive through the covers and clip through mid-wicket brought him 2 further 4s. And Root reached his century in typical fashion with a lovely off-drive from Ball, a brilliant knock from the England captain. All that remained was to see if Ballance could join him with a century of his own, and he duly did with a sweetly struck 6 over long on off Samit Patel. That proved to be the last act of the game as the captains shook hands with Yorkshire on 277 for 2. Nottinghamshire will be disappointed after getting themselves in a position to win the game, but an exceptional partnership between Root and Ballance worth 253 rescued it for Yorkshire. Notts finished with 12, Yorkshire taking 9 points from the match.